Hello my friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop, and welcome to part 4 of the broken ukulele repair. So in the previous episode I had made and fitted the repair piece to the bottom of the ukulele. Got it clamped either side, and for the repair piece itself, the repair patch if you like, I simply used tape, masking tape to hold that on. So I'm going to now remove the clamps and the tape and see where we're at. I don't envisage any problems, to be honest, at this stage. So let's take this first clamp off, and this one. Let's just check that area first. Yeah, all looks good. A little bit of glue residue on there, which is just peeling off. Yeah, that's repaired really nicely. I mean, there wasn't much to that bit. This is obviously the most crucial part, and we'll see what's happened here. Okay, the big reveal. Right, so looking at that, it all looks good, and the level around there is it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. So what I need to do now is to, just kind of trim it up and sort of contour it to the shape of the body. Obviously it looks kind of ugly at the moment, but I'm just trying to think of the best way to do that. I think there's not really very much of it overhanging, so I'm going to try first of all just to peel the excess away with a sharp scalpel, which has got a new blade in it, so it should do the job. So again, this is kind of the wrong way round for me, but let's see how we do with this. Actually, let me just put it down here. Yeah, that's going okay. I would prefer to do this with a sharp chisel, but I don't have any sharp chisels right now. My chisels have kind of gone a bit blunt. I need to sharpen them, but haven't got round to that yet. That's actually working really well. I mean, it's only thin wood. It's, what did we say it was in the end, around 2 mil thick? There's nothing at all. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing there. Basically just shaving it away with the scalpel as close as I dare. It's going pretty well. Okay, the other side. Yeah, that blade's already starting to go blunt. It's not really meant for this, but we'll get the job done. So you just make sure that's all joined properly. Looks good. Okay. Right, so I'm going to final shape it and smooth it with sandpaper. Now, I am going to score up the bottom here and probably the top here as well. Not much I can do to avoid that because I need to make sure that's nice and smooth around there, and also, you know, get the level here. So I am going to be scuffing up the top and this part a little bit, but it is what it is. Okay, so let's find some. I've got a block somewhere, a sanding block. Here it is. It's a little bit worn and used, but I think that's. I think that might be 120 on there. So I'm going to use that just to get a nice smooth edge on there. It's already not too bad. It's just this end really. That's quite good. Still feel a little bit of a lip there. The rest of it seems okay. That's not bad at all. Right, I've got to try and level up the top a bit as well. Let's just turn that camera a bit. So yeah, again, we are going to mark the finish, but it is what it is, and it is only just slightly raised. Try and get a nice smooth transition there. It's not going to be perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but as long as we can get somewhere where it looks and feels fairly smooth. I am going to have to turn this around to make this easier for me. That's not bad. That's actually quite good. So I'm going to quit with the coarse stuff and get on to whatever I can find. Let's see, what have we got in here? What's that? 2000, that's a bit too fine, first of all. What's that one there? 400, that's good. Again, pretty well used, but I tend to reuse sandpaper, I don't throw it away. That's nice, that's pretty good actually. Okay, wait, that's my coffee, don't knock that over. Right, just do around this edge as well with the 400. I'm just going to go over literally over the edge there to smooth that a little bit. It's actually smoother there than it is just there. Let me just get a little bit of rubbing down there as well, and that side. Okay. Right, I'm going to go to 2000 now, just to get a nice smooth finish on there. Nice, very nice. probably as good as it's going to get. I think I'm quite happy with that. So that's the finished article. Yeah, it does look ugly and I'm not going to be able to completely disguise it, but it is what it is. So I think before I try and paint that or stain it or whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to do the work on the fretboard because that's kind of annoying me. So I'm going to do that first. I'm going to clean up all of the frets, which are pretty grimy right now, and the fretboard itself, and then oil it. And then I'll come back to this. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be using for that yet, but we'll see. Okay, so I have got this little sanding kit, which I use for frets that are pretty bad, and these are pretty bad. Varying grits, so what's the one that's on there? That's 3000. I've got 800, 500, 600. What's that one? That's 2000 and 400. 400's a little bit coarse, really. That's not 500, that's 1500. That should go there. How about the 600? Yeah, 600's fine. I'm not going to start with the 400, it's a little bit coarse. So I'm going to start with the 600, and I'm going to go 8, 15, 2000 and 3000 to get these frets as nice as possible. Now, it's getting kind of warm in here, so I'm going to have to turn the air conditioner on, which is a little bit noisy, but I'm getting a bit warm. Right, so let's get that out of the way. And okay, so I said I'm starting with a 600, and I'm just going to gently go over all of the frets just to clean them up. I don't want to go too much with this 600 because it will flatten the top of the frets, which I don't want. Probably enough for the 600. Actually, I'm going to use this abrasive sponge. So, it is a sponge and it's got the abrasion on there. Not sure what grit that is, but so that I can get to the edges of the frets as well, the sides as opposed to just the top. In fact, I'll try and go the other way. Doesn't matter what kind of mess I make of the fretboard because I'm going to be cleaning that up as well. I just want to make sure I get all of the grime off of those frets. How's that looking? Not too bad. I know there's going to be lots of people who are thinking, oh, you should be using fret guards, and I've got about 8 of them. I don't really use them because, usually I'll clean the frets and then clean the fretboard afterwards anyway. So, and it's not just cleaning, I'll actually use a blade to scrape all the grime off of that fretboard because it's pretty bad. Right, let's get the brush. Right, so I'm going to skip 800 and go to 1500, and now this will actually continue to clean them, but also start to polish them. And it's nowhere near as obviously it's nowhere near as abrasive, so we're not going to flat top the frets. Okay, now to 2000. Which itself is almost as smooth as glass. Okay, it doesn't need a lot. Once you've got all the grime off, you're basically just polishing them. And 3000. Okay, right, I'm happy with that. So I just brush that off, brush off the dust and grime. Now, let me find my new blades. Where have I put those? Tucked right under there. So, I'm going to use a brand new single edge razor blade. These ones are not that high quality, so they tend to dull pretty quick, but I bought like 250 of them, something like that. So yeah, just a single edge razor blade. And really what you should do is hold it rigid like this and go backwards and forwards, but that kind of hurts my hands with my arthritis. So I tend to just go in one direction first. So I'm going literally from top to bottom, as it were. And then I'll go the other way. Then once I've done that, I get the corner of it and just go right up against the nut, just scrape along there, and against the edge of the first fret. And I think you can probably see already the difference that's made from this one to this one. Quite a bit of difference. So, continue to do the rest. This fretboard is actually fairly worn in that, you know, where the finger marks here, there are slight indentations, which tells me that it's been played quite a lot. I mean, that does happen over time. It's not really bad. I've seen a lot worse than this before. And to be honest, it's not really a problem unless it's really, really deep. Because you know, for the person that plays it, it's kind of a how would you call it? So, you know, wherever they put their fingers on the frets for the chords, it kind of, where those divots are, it's like a memory. So their fingers are always in the exact correct position for fretting for the chords. It's just grimy. There's you know, years worth of DNA on here, which is lovely. Did I do that bit? I can't remember. Yeah, there's quite a bit of DNA and nastiness coming off of this. But that's actually cleaning up really nice. Probably a bit better than I was expecting, to be honest. Looking good. And obviously as you get further down and the gaps get smaller, this tends to get a little bit more difficult. How are we doing for time? Yeah, okay. So yeah, once I come to painting this repair piece as best I can, paint or stain, I'm not quite sure what yet. And as I said, it's never going to match. It's always going to be, you know, completely visible. But so long as the repair itself is good and strong and functional, if that's the right word, then you know, obviously if this was an expensive instrument, that would be completely unacceptable. But as you know, what I'm charging to do the repair on this is more than the actual value of the instrument. I mean, I don't have a choice. You know, I'm doing quite a bit of work to it. I've kept the price as low as I can, And as I said, the customer and myself have agreed the price. He's okay with it. But I did say to him that, you know, I'm not just gonna, you know, glue that job done. I'm gonna basically transform the instrument. Well, not transform it, but, you know, bring it back to life. Because I mean, like I said, it's obviously been played quite a lot, which is a good thing. You know, we want it to be playable again, because the problem with that damage there that we had here, and it all, you know, coming away all the way around, it meant the bridge was starting to lift up, so it had to be done. 100% had to be done. Where was I? Okay, about halfway. And you know, the fretboard isn't quite as bad the higher up you go here. It's dirty, but it's not, there's not so much finger grime, I'm going to say, this high up the fretboard. But you know, we still need to do this all the way up. As I said, it just gets a bit trickier with these smaller gaps. Now, where I'm getting close to the body now, I've got to be careful when I do the, you know, with the corner of the blade across the fret, that I don't nick the top. So, kind of, when I get to the end, I kind of lift up. Up and away. Okay, just a few more now. Yeah, we'll just do that on these last ones quicker. Okay, 2 more to do. And the last one is a bit easier in one way because you've only got one fret, you haven't got one both sides. Right, so brush all that off now. And yeah, again, I think you'll agree that's looking a lot better already. But last thing to do is coat it with boiled linseed oil. And I'm almost out of time, so this will be the last part of this episode. So really work it in because the fretboard is quite dry. It's not too bad, I've seen a lot worse. But it's quite good quality wood actually. And what I said in the previous episode, or one of the previous episodes, about this probably being a $20 instrument brand new, I think that was perhaps a little low. I think it may be a little bit more because it's, although it's not a known brand or anything, it is quite well put together. It's got decent bridge and fretboard, so yeah, I think I might have underestimated the value a little bit. I mean, it's not, definitely not a high end, but it's pretty good, really. Okay, so that's the fretboard oiled as well now, and I think you'll agree that looks Amazing. Looks a lot better. Okay, so that's it for this episode. It is dragging on for more episodes than I was hoping, but in the next episode I'm going to be trying to, you know, paint or stain that patch in as best I can, and then it will be a final clean-up and put it back together. So in the meantime, please look after yourselves, look after each other. We will see you soon. Peace out.